And then I ran to the middle of I-44, Pastor. And it's like waving my
Yeah,
hands.
I-44 is ano yan,
Yeah,
ano?
2 lanes.
2 lanes. So
I'm very like
cars
driving
are fast.
70,
Okay.
80 miles per hour. It's a very fast
Fast lane.
highway,
Yeah.
interstate. So everybody, there's so many cars that I'm waving my hands. There's so many cars that like honking on me because stay away there, get out of, because they're driving fast. And then,
So
what?
when you stop sa middle sa I-44,
I was in the middle of I-44 waving my hands for help.
wala man. It means on the side or on the center?
On the middle, because
So wala man
I pull over my car, and I don't know what to do. So I step out my car and stand in the middle
ikaw
of
ang,
I-44.
that's
Yeah, and I could
65 to 70.
even 80. I was so shocked that I wanna cry, but there's no tears that comes in my eyes.
So CJ, ano pas conscious pas during that time?
Like
or?
during ganun.
Aga ka.
In my mind, if I will let my mind, because I saw the whole thing, she's dead. I still don't want him to die. I always pray that he will not die, but because of the way he lives his life, I know that one day he will die.
Oh.
And then the only thing is I was very, like I prayed every night that if ever he'll die, then that he will say, Lord, forgive me and still go to heaven. Because God is a forgiving God, even at the very end of our life.
Kay may abi nila nga tungod sa sitwasyon, grabe na kadautan, grabe na kakuan di na malos. Pero ang Ginoo na way of when.
And then when I talked to, because it was a closed casket, since it was like, he's been found 3 days already dead. And he's like black, swollen up. They even, so after the funeral, I called the funeral director and I asked, how, because I'm still thinking, where is he, the positioning when he died? I want to know, because, is he in bed or is he, like he fell and dropped on the floor? I was very concerned about it. And then the funeral director said, like, it's more like, I think it's the confirmation from God that God give me the peace. I mean, even though the most brutal person, we don't want anybody to go to hell, because hell is a hideous place. Lord,
Jesus
so you don't want, even your worst enemy, you don't want them to go to hell. So that time I was like, so when the funeral director told me that he was kneeling like on the bed, he's bowing like this and kneeling, and they even have to break his leg so they can put him in a casket. It's just like God give me the peace that he nailed, because maybe that's really, he's already feeling that he's not gonna make it, and then maybe at the end, God, I know God loves him. God loves everybody.
Matagal na rin na siguro sa time na na-realize niya, pero wala lang niya pinag-
Yeah, so that's why I feel like he's in heaven, and I know that he did so many things, bad things to me and to other people and to CJ, but personally, like I really think that he was tired, and then no matter how many times he hurt me, I hurt him, like it was just like hopeless situation for both of me, for the both of us and CJ. That's why we decided to go on for the divorce. But like he was my husband for 8 years, and he was the father of
At
CJ.
least ang kuan, wala na imong resentment.
Oh no, completely gone.
Ang kuan, no?
I'm so completely released from that, because this is how I say, he has a mental illness. Nobody can diagnose his illness, but he has a mental illness that make him like a very nice person one day and then turn around to be a monster. He's not right. He doesn't have, I mean, he was a genius, that's what they said, but I think he was just like, he had some mental illness that make him acted that way. So that's the chapter of my life that ended when he died. But it doesn't mean that, because he is the father of my firstborn, and that will take...
Bali, paano naka-move on ka and then time nga nagdako na si lumalaki na si CJ. So how you cope up with the ano yung
Well,
kasi single mom
uh,
ka na eh.
yeah, so after that, it was a very lonely life because I never have like a relationship like I long for a husband that a husband that will love me and take care of me, and I don't have that with him. I don't have that relationship with him. So at the end, like if someone comes to you and show you like some show that he likes you or he's a little bit affectionate to you, you fall to that trap
Oh, so
because you're lonely, you're vulnerable, and you feel like maybe maybe I deserve to be loved.
and then madali ka lang ano yun eh. Kung
Oh, because
siyempre,
you're very vulnerable. I mean, you're halfway around the world from your family. It's just you and your daughter, and then you live in a country
so yun pang
setting.
isang ano na yun namatayan ka na ng asawa, nag-isa ka na lang tapos yung family na close
Wala.
sa'yo nun sa Pilipinas.
Pilipinas.
So how did you cope up na kahit wala sila, paano ka yung loneliness mo, yung ano mo paano
Well, I
mo siya-
focus everything to CJ. That's why
okay,
CJ
so-
become the like a precious possession, my precious possession that I have to be strong. I have to be, I have to stay healthy. I have to make life for her, not for myself, but for her. Well, when I said possession, does not mean that I control her. I mean, she's the gift that I have from
your
God.
joy eh, kung mag-work ka, di ba, galing sa work, pagod. So pagdating mo, kita mo siya. So at least, kasi yung minsan may ano ka na, nalaman mo, kakamamatay lang tapos lonely nga. So ang replacement ka agad, yung another person na makatulong do. Sometimes they don't focus sa mga anak nila. So,
Yeah, well, I focus with our teachers then, and then when my daughter after her father died, and then CJ got in a brutal accident.
oh, okay. So,
Yeah, that was 1 year after.
Ano yung nangyari nun mo?
Well, I was driving. I think I mentioned something before, but I was driving from Springfield to Marsfield in Interstate 44, and then here comes this. Like they have the winter.
Oo.
They always like plow the main road, and they put the 7 pounds metal reflectors in the middle to, like at night to bright up the road, so you cannot cross, 2 lanes, Well, na-turn loose yung isang reflector, and then when a guy passed me,
Aso na sagasaan na ano?
so I was in this lane. I was not in the passing lane, but this pickup was in the passing lane. I drive so fast, and then right in front of me, or not really, like farther, when he crosses to the other lane, the rear tire of the pickup hit the loose reflector, and it made it float to the windshield, float up the air, and hit the windshield of the car.
So pumasok, ano?
Yeah, diretso talaga. And we have a story for that if you want to see it. It's in YouTube too.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, you can get that. But anyway, yeah, it went to the windshield, and then I did not know. All I know is that something hit my windshield and it shattered the windshield. But I did not know what it is. So I pulled over to the side. I pulled over to the shoulder, and then when I looked, CJ, she was like, this whole place was like sliced. Oh,
So
ito
blood, gram.
oh, yeah, deep laceration. And so I did not know what to, I did not know how to react. Mura ako nataranta. Tapos I put my car, I don't even have a cell phone that time.
Oh, wala. Oh.
So I put my hands to her forehead trying to stop
Para
the
lang
bleeding.
ano.
But
How old is si CJ during
8,
8 years old?
like not even a year after her dad passed.
So, natulog siya during that time?
No.
Na,
And this is the thing that God saved her, because she was singing to me because she likes to sing,
Oh,
you know.
oh,
So
oh.
she, you know, I was driving the car and she was there, and then she was singing, you know. So she's looking towards me when that thing happened, because if she's looking uh, to the main road,
Mm.
then that thing hit her here, and that's it.
So,
She's gone. So because of that, it made her like laceration here, deep laceration, but not even, it was just like a miracle after miracle because it did not even damage her eyesight. It was just like here, like this. And then, so, so I was like, after that, when I saw it, and then I ran to the middle of I-44, Pastor. And I was like waving my
yeah,
hands.
I-44 is ano yan,
There are
ano,
two lanes.
two lanes. So
I'm very like
cars
driving
are fast.
70,
Okay. So yeah.
80 miles per hour. It's a very fast
Fast lane.
highway,
Yeah.
interstate. So everybody, there's so many cars that I'm waving my hands. There's so many cars that like honking on me because stay away there, you know, get out of, you know, because they're driving fast. And then, and
So
then
you
what?
mean you stop sa middle sa
I
I-44?
yeah, I was in the middle of I-44 waving my hands for help.
Eh, wala man. It means on the side or on the center?
On the middle because
So wala man, oh.
I pull over my car and I don't know what to do. So I step out my car and stand in the middle
Ikaw
of
ang, so,
I-44.
that's,
Yeah, and I could
65 to 70.
even 80, you know, miles. So I was waving there and help, and I heard this cars honking on their horns,
Oh.
you know, to try to avoid me or avoid hitting me. And so yun,
Kasi
then
wala kang cellphone eh.
wala.
Hindi ka nakatao. So that's,
So yun, and then there was a like a suburban, and that what it happens that he was a deputy of, I think it's Mansfield, something like that. He's a police. He pulled over, and then he asked me what's wrong, and I said something hit my daughter, something hit my daughter. I was so um
so
shocked.
ano ka pa, nakapagsalita or ano?
I said something hit my daughter, something hit my daughter. Please help. I was so shocked that I wanna cry, but there's no tears that comes in my eyes.
So CJ, ano pa, conscious pa during that time?
Like
Or?
during nagaganon.
Aga ka.
You know, so his wife took me to their car, and then that's when he asked for help, and then knows what's going on, and then here comes the helicopter from Cox. Yeah, Mercy.
So yun ang ano eh, yung pag makita mo,
Wala na.
wala ka na ano eh, yung
In my mind, if I will let my mind, because I saw the whole thing, she's dead.
so,
She's dead, but then my faith comes up.
so that's
And-
mga kapatid, no? Yung pag wala ka na talagang pag-asa sa sarili mo, yan, that's
Yeah,
the miracle
that's
comes
when
in.
you know you have to stand by faith. You know, like so I started praying and praying and praying and praying. You know, like Lord, you know, I mean, this is not the time that CJ will die. She's too young to die, and I'm not gonna let the devil, you know, like take her life away. And then she has a long life, and whatever. I was just like, you know, like screaming and praying and praying, and the wife of the deputy too prayed with me. And so she asked me if I have people that I need to notify. So they notify Pastor Tuala because I called them. I told them to call them. Then si Pastor Tuala nag-ano og kanang prayer chain to the other
Para support.
prayers, you know. And then here comes the helicopter, airlifted her, and then the paramedic came and talked to me.
So ka maglingkod o dyan?
Dali lang, come here.
Para mo tabag, kuan ba? Hilak. Istorya, pa lang man. Istorya.
Bitaw, ako man yung judge.
Yes. Si Nora, ang gwapa naman Nora. So the paramedic
Dito namin
came.
sa katong nanay
Nasa
helicopter
kuan
na
naman.
gabot.
So the paramedic came and talked to me that, like, okay, your daughter is still breathing but on and off, and we will try our best to, you know, to save her. I have a 6 years old, and I know how you feel as a mother. So and that's it, you know. And
So nakalihok-lihok pa kami, ano,
I don't know.
more ba? More man to. So nako. So nakalihok pa ka tumor nga nagtan-aw ka nga si CJ nga muraga.
Murag ka ng chicken nga himatyon.
Di ba?
Ah,
Oo.
lisod lagi, shock, panic.
Kaya lahi na nga experience ka nang wala na kay
Oo.
mo bitaw nga imong
Yeah.
anak na murag
Patay,
patay na.
patay na. Si CJ ba ito na-discuss siya? So anyway, yeah, it was bad. And it really took me like 6 months before I finally drive back to I-44. I was traumatized more than CJ. Because I was the one who saw the whole thing. So anyway, so they airlifted her, they put her in, they even put her in the body bag. They put her in the body bag not because she's dead, but they put her in the body bags to warm up her body because she's cooling down, and then the waiting when I was in the mercy waiting for what's the result if you're die or something like that. That was the worst 2 hours waiting.
Okay,
So
kita nimo ang
yeah,
situation.
but my whole church, they were there.
Yun ang
They were
maganda
there,
yung ano.
and we kept praying there in the waiting room, and finally the doctor came and told us that she's alive, she's alive, and
So,
it was a deep laceration, and there's some brain like swelling on the brain, but they said that they're gonna try not to do anything with that. Maybe it will just like swell because it's not deep enough to really hurt the brain or do some brain surgery. So it took them maybe 1.5 hours to sew her back. And then she lost so much blood because heady. So after they transfer her at the NICU, they told me that she needs to be she lost so much blood that they need to do some blood transfusion immediately. So and then told asked them if there's any way if I can give blood to her, but then and they said no, we don't have time. So we started praying again that God will and then 15 minutes after I was notified that she doesn't need blood transfusion. Her body made enough blood for her to not getting any blood transfusion from stranger.
God's will.
hmm
so,
so she was lying. They put her in like a forced comatose for 5 days.
aso na ko
Forced.
force okay.
In order for her brain to have no activity, because it's gonna be like, and then anytime she can have a seizure, she can have like all kinds of precautions during that time, and her head was like a watermelon. Yeah, it was bad. And then of course the media, they were all over me because they think that was a freak accident, but it's God doing everything for her. And even after she was released, and 2 weeks after, we go to the neuro doctor and check if there is, because it was like splinted, lots of and then they sew it back. But if there's some space that needed, that will not completely sealed, that they may have to do some like kung sa atin pa yung semento para completely sealed ang brain. You know that I was told that, and no, we don't need to do that. Her skull just
So,
like completely like
balik
balik the way it was. No, nothing.
yeah.
Yeah, it was really a thing, and she was she was singing "Think Big Like God" when that thing happened to.
And then now si
So this is the power of prayer.
graduating, di ba?
Graduating from veterinary.
Doctor, so
Yeah, so God is good. Yeah, and I met him from the church where I've been going for years, and I know he has an eye on me because I keep, like sometimes I look at him that he keeps staring at me,
lero ang mata niya.
Oo. But anyway, the first thing that I said, Filipino, we like white skin, and I will be racist, but it's true. Filipino likes white skin, Americans,
Muna
So,
walay taning sa ato. Walay
na,
dapat.
like taning, whitening, tanan. Whitening.
Wala.
So,
Gapayong mo nang
Gapayong.
bisag.
So even though I know nga he has a crush on me, I ignored him until one day